Imagine this. You fight a war against one of the most powerful empires on Earth. You win. You break chains that lasted generations. You stand in the sunlight and say, "We are free." Now imagine, the same empire you defeated sails back with warships and says, "Congratulations on your freedom. Now pay us for what we lost." That is not satire. That is Haiti. In 1804, Haiti became the first free black republic in the modern world after defeating France in the Haitian Revolution. Enslaved people rose up, organized, fought, and did what many believed was impossible. They didn't just protest, they won. So why, only 21 years later, in 1825, was Haiti signing an agreement that would drain its economy for more than a century? Because France returned with a different weapon. Not muskets, not soldiers. Paper and cannons parked behind it. King Charles VII of France issued an ordinance. France would officially recognize Haiti's independence if Haiti paid 150 million francs to compensate former slave owners for their lost property, lost plantations, lost profits, and yes, even claims tied to the people who had freed themselves. Ask yourself that question slowly. How do you send an invoice to someone for escaping slavery? And here's where the story twists into something that sounds like dark comedy, but was brutally real. Haiti didn't have that money. No newly freed nation would. So to make the first payment, Haiti had to borrow from French banks. Think about that circle. Pay France by borrowing from France, so you can pay France again. Historians call it the double debt. A financial trap disguised as diplomacy. Why would Haiti agree? Why not refuse? They had already beaten France once. Because victory in war does not guarantee safety and peace. Haiti faced the threat of renewed invasion, economic blockade, and diplomatic isolation. Without recognition, global trade could be strangled. Other nations might refuse to deal with them. Ships could be turned away. Supplies could vanish. The message behind the ordinance was clear without being spoken. Pay or remain a target. So Haiti chose survival. But survival came with a chain made of numbers instead of iron. France later reduced the total, but the damage was already done. Loans piled on top of loans, interest stacked like bricks. Decades passed, governments changed, storms came and went, but the payments continued. The debt and the refinancing web stretched so long that the final remittances tied to it are widely cited as ending in 1947. Let that timeline breathe for a moment. Freedom was declared in 1804. Financial chains rattled until 1947. Nearly a century and a half. How does a nation pay a bill like that? Not with one job, with its future. Money that could have built schools built interest instead. Money that could have paved roads, paved foreign bank ledgers. Money that could have funded hospitals was used to fund former colonizers. It wasn't just economics, it was time stolen. And time is the one resource no country can refinance. There was also a cultural cost. Haiti's spiritual traditions, especially Vodou, became targets of stigma and suppression as leaders and foreign powers pushed the country to appear more European and civilized campaigns in the late 1800s and early as the 1900s attacked Vodou practices, destroying sacred objects and shaming communities. Imagine being told your treasury is unacceptable and your spirit is unacceptable at the same time. What does that do to a people's identity? So what did Haiti actually get from this deal? Recognition. A diplomatic handshake with the same hand that had demanded payment. Freedom acknowledged, but not freely given. Fast forward to today, and Haiti's struggle with instability, poverty, and waves of violence that dominate headlines. Gang control in parts of the capital, political vacuums, natural disasters, foreign interventions, and deep institutional weakness have created a crisis layered upon a crisis. None of this has a single cause, But history casts a long shadow. When a nation begins its life paying off a ransom, its starting line is already miles behind. And now the world asks another question: should Haiti be repaid? The call for reparations is aimed primarily at France. Haitian leaders and activists have argued for years that the 1825 indemnity was extortion, not diplomacy. Around the 200-year anniversary of that ordinance, debates reignited. France has acknowledged the historical injustice in words, commissions, and studies. But acknowledgement and restitution are not the same currency. So here we stand with a story that feels upside down. A nation wins its freedom, then finances the victory. A people break chains, then inherit a ledger. And the question that lingers like an echo through centuries is this: what would Haiti look like today if its first 100 years had been spent building itself instead of paying for the privilege of being free? History does not only live in museums, sometimes it lives in bank records, sometimes it lives in silence, and sometimes it lives in a bill that should never have existed at all.